You know, I've had a lot of you people ask me, why the bacon? Why do you have an opening with bacon? Well, you know, it's more about the feeling of the place. I mean, that's a wonderful place to be up in the high Sierras. Bacon first thing in the morning just makes you feel good. So it doesn't have anything to do with trees, but I just kind of like it. So hope you like it too. Enjoy this next video. Coffee too. That's simple pleasures in life. Well, if you want to talk about horror stories, this is my version of a tree man's horror story, an arborist nightmare. I've actually featured this tree a few times in a couple of other of my videos in the past, and I stop by about 2 or 3 times a year and take a closer look at it to see what's going on, and it's considerably worse. I need to tell you right off the bat that I recommended this tree many times for removal. The owner of this property and this tree loves this tree. About, I'm going to say 8 or 9 years ago, after I recommended removal, he begged me to do something, so I put 6 cables in this tree. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there was an existing one just holding this side of the tree. We've taken a lot of weight off of this side of the tree, but the upper canopy is still up there. There's still a fair amount of foliage on this tree, but it's declining. You can see that it's not what it used to be. But there's a few things that really, really worry me. A couple years ago, this was reasonably solid. Now I can just push my finger into it. So the wood is getting punkier and weaker. That's interesting. Seed growing there. There's a lot more fungus in here. And there's a lot of fungus up in the main crotch that wasn't there just a couple years ago. This used to be full of leaves and keeps blowing it out, and that's just basically to inspect it. The leaves don't make it worse or better or anything. They just, oh my God. There's some fungus growing on here. This is what I call a ticking time bomb. And he's got wires attached to it. It's just telephone and cable TV. There isn't any power lines. But my biggest fear is if this thing does split out, it's going to split, or the cables are going to hold it for a long time and this is going to slough. There's a lot of cables up there, and I believe that the cables are strong enough to support all that weight. So the base of this tree is just going to get weaker and weaker. Hopefully the tree will show signs of decline and die before it falls apart, but I really don't know what to say about this tree. I'm going to tell him one more time. I think this tree should go before something happens. Let's see, there is a neighbor's house over here. There's a couple of big pockets of decay up there. They love this tree. They absolutely love this tree. And in fairness, he told me, he says, at my age, I'll let the next owner of the house worry about it. Well, c'est la vie. You know, when you're looking at trees and trying to evaluate weaknesses and potential problems, you have to look for all the evidence. Now, we have a lot of these Quercus agrifolia, the coast live oaks, in our area, and that's one of the more common trees I have to deal with. And it's a very, very large species of tree. And this particular tree has really big limbs that hang over a relatively busy road. Let me get out of the way here. So when I look at a weakness like this and all that weight over the road, you know, sometimes I have to make a judgment call and say, okay, what's going on? These hypoxylon right here, that's a type of fungus that only develops when the tree has reached a point where it's starting to decay. And as it advances, it gets worse. At this point, it may be strong enough, but it's something to pay attention to. Now here's something. There's an unknown. That's where there's an old flush cut that's rotted down in there. That rot is going to very likely extend into this part of the tree, and there's a lot of weight out there. When I look at it, one of the wires there, the cable TV wires and the telephone wires right down there, they're actually intertwined with this limb here. So if this branch goes down, it's going to cause more than just a branch failure or a possible failure with traffic. This is a busy street. But it's going to take out communications as well. What do we got there? That's that looks like paint. Not sure what that is. This is kind of interesting. That's an old flesh cut, or a wound where a limb was ripped off a long time ago. You gotta look really closely when you're evaluating a tree.